Women aren't being hoes enough. I said what I said, girl. And before you clutch your pearls, let me explain what I mean. Because when I say hoe, I'm not talking about body count or reckless living. I'm talking about freedom. I'm talking about that untamed, magnetic feminine power that doesn't ask for permission to exist. Somewhere along the line, women were taught to fear their own energy. We were trained to tone ourselves down, to edit our voices, to dim our beauty just enough so it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. We were told to be desirable but not too desired, confident but not too confident, sexy but never sexual. We learned to play small and call it humility. We learned to settle and call it being realistic. But deep down, every woman has a wild, radiant, no apologies version of herself. The part that laughs loudly, moves freely, and walks like she owns the ground. The hoe is that version. She's the side of you that doesn't overthink her worth, doesn't shrink herself to fit someone's comfort zone, doesn't live in constant fear of judgment. And that version, she's the most feared, mocked, and secretly respected woman alive. Let's be honest, society has always had a weird obsession with women who move freely. They demonize her and desire her at the same time. They say she's doing too much, but they're still watching her every move. They mock her, but they also mimic her. They pretend to despise her, but they can't look away, because deep down, they know something powerful. The hoe moves through life without shame. And shame is the main currency society uses to control women. The good girl archetype, the quiet, agreeable, self-sacrificing woman, has been romanticized for centuries. She's rewarded for her silence, for her patience, for her ability to endure. But the moment she decides she's done performing and starts living in her truth, she becomes too much. Suddenly, she's selfish, disrespectful, promiscuous, rebellious. But the truth, she's free. The hoe archetype doesn't need validation. She doesn't measure her worth by how many men want her or how many people approve of her. Her worth comes from her self-ownership. She has reclaimed the right to exist as she pleases. And that, my love, terrifies people because a woman who owns herself cannot be manipulated. That's why they call her names. That's why they shame her. That's why they whisper about her when she leaves the room. They need to convince themselves that her freedom is dangerous because if they admitted it was beautiful, they'd have to confront their own cages. See, when I say women aren't being hoes enough, I'm saying we aren't living fully enough. We aren't tapping into our divine feminine chaos enough. We're still waiting for permission to be loud, to be sensual, to say no, to say yes, to desire pleasure, to command attention, to rest, to take up space. We've become experts at suppressing ourselves for the comfort of others. We dim our energy, lower our tone, hide our confidence because the world told us that a fully expressed woman is dangerous. But what if being dangerous is exactly what we were meant to be? Because danger in this context doesn't mean harm, it means power. It means you can no longer be predicted, boxed in, or controlled. And a woman who cannot be controlled is always labeled a threat. That's why they call her a hoe. Because they need language to make her small again. But here's the thing. Mockery doesn't erase power. If anything, it exposes it. Look at history. Every woman who's ever shaken the world was once called some version of a hoe. Too bold, too sexual, too outspoken, too independent. It's the same script, just recycled. Even now in our generation, the hoe archetype has evolved. She's not just the girl in the tight dress, she's the woman who refuses to live by fear. She could be the corporate boss who knows her worth, the mother who still puts herself first, the creative who dares to be sensual in her art, the healer who embraces her body and spirit with